Hi friends, welcome back to the third episode of Indian Vegetarian Meal Plan at Vidya's Vegetarian Kitchen. Hope you all are enjoying this series and thank you for all your feedback and please do subscribe to my channel. So today I'm going to share my favorite recipe, rasam and potato curry. So rasam is a thin lentil soup, and today I'm going to share the Dal Rasam or Paruppu Rasam as we say in Tamil and potato curry with onion. So let's get started. So before getting into the recipe, I would like to talk about tamarind. Tamarind forms the base for both rasam and sambar in Tamil cuisine actually, like be it any South Indian cuisine. And also I want to talk about the vessel in which I'll be making rasam. So when it comes to tamarind, I buy both the tamarind pod as well as the paste. During busy days, on weekdays especially, I just use the tamarind concentrate. I either get the Joy brand or the Lakshmi brand. I also like these bottles very much. I repurpose them as my spice jars, and these are slightly sweet also. It's not like really tangy as the natural tamarind pod. So when it comes to the tamarind, back in my native, usually we get aged tamarind, at least 1 year old tamarind, because it gives nice color, and usually the tamarind will be, the aged tamarind will be a dark brown black in color. So the age of the tamarind determines the color as well as the tanginess of your rasam or sambar. But today for this rasam recipe, I'm going to use the tamarind concentrate, and it makes it very easy. You don't need to soak, or there is no soaking time involved. But I'll be using these for my upcoming recipes. So I'll share how to use these tamarind. And now let me share about the vessel in which I'll be making the rasam. This is called Eeya Sombu. It is the tin vessel. In Tamil we say Velli Eeyam. It adds nice flavor to the recipe, and the key thing with this is you cannot keep this vessel without anything on the stove, and you need to cook it over a low heat, because tin melts at 250 degree. So we don't want to keep it on over a hot surface, or we don't want to heat the vessel empty. Let's get started with the rasam recipe. So what I have done is I've taken a quarter cup of Toor Dal. I washed it and I pressure cooked it for 3 whistles by adding approximately 1 cup of water and a little bit of turmeric. It has now cooled down, and I'm not going to add it right first here. I'll be adding all the base ingredients like tamarind water, rasam powder. I will allow the rasam to simmer, and then I'll be adding the dal along with the water. And also I have pressure cooked the potatoes. I have used the Idaho variety of potatoes. So it is 4 potatoes, but I'll explain it what kind of variety I've used when I share the potato curry recipe. Now let's get started with the rasam. So I'm gonna keep the dal aside. So first 2 teaspoons of the tamarind concentrate. So I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of tamarind concentrate. Half tablespoon, like I took 3/4 of the half tablespoon measure salt. 1 tablespoon of rasam powder. This is half tablespoon measure, and this is homemade rasam powder. I will share the recipe link in the description box for this homemade rasam powder as well, but you can use the store-bought variety too. And a little bit of freshly ground pepper. And few curry leaves. And cilantro, like a handful of cilantro. I like the cilantro flavor in the rasam, so I usually add a lot of cilantro, but you can adjust as per your preference. And then 1 tomato. I've taken like a small tomato, so I'm just going to quickly chop. As I have already added turmeric powder while cooking the dal, I'm not going to add any additional turmeric powder here, but I'm just going to add a little bit of jaggery. But jaggery is also optional. I personally prefer jaggery in both sambar and rasam, but it's optional. So I'm just adding 1/4 teaspoon of powder jaggery. So now I'm going to add 1 cup of water. So this vessel it can hold 2.5 cups of water. So I'm just going to add 1 cup of water and little extra, and I'm just going to mix everything. So I have added salt, I've added tamarind, rasam powder, jaggery, curry leaves, tomato, cilantro, everything, and just adding water and mixing it. So now I'm going to simmer this until it becomes frothy on top. I just kept the rasam over lower heat. It's just in number 3, so we don't want the tin vessel to be over high heat. So while this is simmering, I'm going to do the prep work for my potato curry. For the potato curry, I used the Idaho variety of potatoes. So I took 4 potatoes of this size. I washed them thoroughly and just cut into 2 halves, and I pressure cooked it for up to 3 whistles. So I cooked the dal and the potatoes at the same time. So I just added water so that all the potatoes are nicely immersed in water. So here are the potatoes. I'm just going to quickly peel the skin. Here it is, friends. I have just peeled the skin roughly. Few parts are still there, but that's okay. So I'm just going to further chop it into small cubes. And we don't want any perfect cube shape or anything. You can just rough them into small pieces, not too so small, like how we do for the potato kara curry. And you can use any potato varieties, the red ones, purple ones, or the Yukon Gold potatoes. And some varieties you can leave the skin on. As I was planning to make rasam and as I had to cook the dal, I just kept everything in the pressure cooker. I'm just gonna add all this in a vessel. So you can chop the potatoes and boil, but I prefer it this way because it becomes easy while chopping, and also you can peel the skin easily. So that's why I always pressure cook them and then do the chopping part, like how I did for beets. So I'm just chopping them roughly, you know, I'm not following any particular shape or like pattern, just some rough cubes. So, and I'm going to chop this onion also. I'm taking one whole red onion, and I'll quickly chop this and I'll catch you. So I've chopped the onion, and here are the potatoes. So I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of red chili powder and 1 tablespoon of oil. I'm just going to mix nicely. So I find it easier to mix it with hand so that the red chili powder gets coated evenly. But you can add the potatoes to the pot, and then you can add the red chili powder and you can mix as well. But I just prefer mixing it with my hand so that the masala is evenly coated. So you can even add salt during this process, but I just add the salt while sauteing the onion and then add these potatoes. So here are the potatoes, and now it's now all the prep work is done for the potato curry. So as you can see, the rasam is simmering, so it has formed the froth, but I just reduced the heat again and allowed it to simmer as I was doing the prep work. So now I am going to add the cooked dal, and I've turned on the pot for making the potato curry also. So first let me add the dal. So I'm gonna mash the dal with my hand. So I don't want to mash the dal with my potato masher, the Eeya, so I usually mash it nicely beforehand. But if you are using other vessels, the other regular non-stickware, cookware, or regular stainless steel, you can add the dal and use your potato masher or the mattu, and you can mash the dal. So I'm just going to mix the rasam and add little bit more water, less than quarter cup, so that it comes till the brim. So now I'm not gonna disturb this and let it become frothy, and after doing the tadka tempering, rasam is done. So my pan is hot and I have added 1 tablespoon of oil. I know oil is on the higher side for this recipe, but you can reduce it. I usually prefer a little bit more oil for potato curry. So now I'm going to add the regular tempering stuff like mustard seeds. So 1 teaspoon, this is half teaspoon, so I'm just adding 1 teaspoon of mustard seeds, 1 teaspoon of urad dal, and 1 teaspoon of chana dal. And I don't want to miss the asafoetida because it's potato gaseous, and I just want a lot of asafoetida in this as well. So and few curry leaves, just 3 or 4 curry leaves. And as you can see, it started spluttering. Now I'm going to add the onions. And the salt, like half tablespoon. I'm just gonna cook the onion until it turns translucent. So the onion is nice and translucent. So now I'm going to add the potatoes coated with red chili powder and mix thoroughly. You can cook this in the cast iron pan also, so for a nice crust. But when it comes to potato onion curry, I usually go with my copperware file. But when it comes to just plain potato curry, or as we say kara curry, I prefer my cast iron pan. So I'll show you how I make potato curry in that as well. And you can see the rasam is slowly it's cooked, it's not simmering, and you can see the froth forming up. After adding dal, I usually I don't allow the rasam to simmer or boil. Like in Tamil we say kodika vidakudadu, like norakattinadum erakkidnu. That's how they say. So we just want the froth to form completely, and we just turn off the heat. We don't want the rasam to we don't want to bring it to a boil actually. So and, for the potato curry, so now all you have to do is just lower the heat and cook until it slightly browns up. And at this stage, if you want, you can add more oil and you can roast it completely, or you can just put it in simmer or in low heat mode, and you can just cook until it turns brown. So it's gonna take at least 5 minutes for me now. So I'll show you when it turns brown. So I'm gonna turn off the rasam now, so it is nice and frothy. You don't want to allow it to bring it to a boil. So if I increase the heat, you can see it starts to boil. We don't want to allow it to boil, so I'm just gonna turn off the heat. And now I'm going to add the ghee tempering actually. So here I've kept my small cast iron pan, and I usually do the tempering for rasam with ghee. And you can, if you're vegan, you can just go with regular oil, but ghee adds a nice flavor to the rasam, so it enhances the flavor, rather I should say it that way. So I'm going to add a little bit of mustard seeds, but lots and lots of cumin. Cumin makes rasam heavenly in my opinion, so I just add a lot of cumin. And now I'm going to add asafoetida also. So let's just allow the mustard seeds to fry. And here is the potato curry that is getting cooked. So as you can see, it is all coming along. I like this handle very much. It's again the large brand, so I can hold it even when it's hot, and you can get them in Amazon as well. So the mustard seeds started spluttering, so I'm going to turn off the heat and then add this to the rasam. That's it friends, rasam is done, and now the potato curry is also pretty much done. So I didn't add any additional oil, and when I'm mixing, you can see the potato is just falling apart, so I don't want to cook this any further, so I'm going to turn off the heat. So both rasam and the potato curry are done. Here it is friends, yet another delicious meal, rice with Dal Rasam and potato curry. As always, you can cook rice in your preferred way, and during weekdays what I usually do is I cook the dal and the potatoes in the morning, but you have to be careful with the potatoes. I won't recommend leaving the potatoes in the water because it then becomes very starchy. So once you turn off the pressure cooker and once the pressure released, take out the potatoes and just drain all the water and let it sit. Then you can come and prepare this in the evening. If you are microwaving the potatoes also, just take them out, drain the water, and don't leave them in the water actually. So then it makes it really starchy. And with rasam, like, you can prepare it in the regular vessel as well. So, and I'll be sharing different rasam varieties in the coming episodes. And I know today I was struggling a bit. I was stammering here and there because the pup was in a playful mode, so I was keeping an eye on him as well. So I think I didn't mess up while talking. If so, please bear with me for today. Hopefully next episode he'll be in his crate and I can make the video peacefully. And thank you. So stay tuned for the upcoming episode. Please subscribe to my channel, and I will be adding all the recipe details in the description box, and also my blog link from where you can print the recipe. And if you want to see what I cook on a day-to-day basis, please follow me on my Instagram. So the handle is Vidya's Vegetarian Kitchen, and that's also in the description box. Thank you so much for all your support, and I'll catch you on the next episode.